Hello and welcome to a new video on IGCSE Mathematics. In this video, we shall be discussing the quadratic formula. So in this question, we're required to solve the equation 3x squared minus 2x minus 10 equals 0. Show all your working and give your answers correct to 2 decimal places. Now you need to memorize the quadratic formula, and there is a song to help you do that. Not really a song, just like a fast tempo to help you memorize the formula. So it's x equals minus b plus minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Try to sing it to yourself in order to memorize the formula. Minus b plus minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So if you memorize this, you're all set. How do we figure out a, b, and c? Simply, we just write the standard form of the quadratic formula, ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. And we write the equation that we want to solve underneath it, 3x squared minus 2x minus 10 equals 0. And then we simply compare the coefficients. So the number next to x squared is 3, so therefore a equals 3. The number next to x is negative 2, so b equals negative 2. And the third number is negative 10, so c equals negative 10. And then we plug the numbers into the formula. So if you remove b and you write negative 2, watch out because you have a negative outside and the two negatives cancel out. So the first thing we write in our formula is 2 positive. So not negative 2, but positive 2. And then we have a square root, of course. Whenever you're doing b squared, I often see this mistake where people would just write negative 2 squared on the calculator looking like this. This will get you a wrong answer. This will get you a negative 4, and that's not really what we want. So either just write it like this, negative 2 squared within brackets, but the power 2 has to be outside of the brackets, because this will give you positive 4. Or in general, whenever you're trying to square something, whether it's positive or negative, just ignore the negative sign. That's what I do. Whenever I'm squaring something, even if it's negative, I just ignore the negative because I know that the power 2 cancels out the negative. So anyway, in this case, we have here 4, which is negative 2 all squared, so, or just 2 squared or whatever. And then minus 4 multiplied by a, which is 3, multiplied by c, which is negative 10. And you already know in advance that you have two negatives, so you can just cancel this negative and turn this into a positive. And 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 10, this gives you 120. You can even do this mentally or on the calculator, it doesn't really matter. And everything is divided by 2 times 3, which of course gives you 6. So x is equal to 2 plus minus radical of 124 divided by 6. And we are required to find the answer correct to 2 decimal places. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug radical 124 into the calculator just to convert it into a decimal. And it's 11.135, so just 11.14. We approximate to 2 decimals. And we just use the calculator to figure out the rest. So I will draw a box here for the final answer, and I will just use the calculator to figure this out. So 2 plus 11.14 divided by 6 gives me 2.19. And 2 minus 11.14 divided by 6 gives us negative 1.52. Let's check if our answers are correct. Yes, they are. You can see here negative 1.52 and 2.19 are correct. So in this problem, we have the same idea. We have a quadratic equation. I'm going to do things a bit more quickly now. So we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And then we have 3x squared plus 7x minus 11 equals to 0 as well. And we just compare the coefficients. We get a equals 3, b equals 7, and c equals negative 11. Now we write the quadratic formula down. X equals minus b plus minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And I start plugging the numbers into the formula. So b here is 7. I can just remove b squared. You can do it mentally or on the calculator, but you should know it's 49. And then I cross the a and I write 3. I cross the c and I write negative 11. And I cross this a here and I write 3 as well, and then I simplify. So x is equal to negative 7 plus minus root of 49. Of course, you have here 4 times 3 times negative 11, but you have a negative outside as well. So the negatives will cancel out, and you get a positive. You have 4 times 3, which is 12, times 11. This gives you 132. Again, you can use your calculator for this part, divided by 6. And what the final issue that remains is just to calculate this formula. All you have to do is just, maybe you'd want to like simplify for yourself first. You just do 49 plus 132 first, just so as not to write it a number of times on the calculator. So this is just 181. So root 181, and you can just proceed to write on the calculator the final answer. Negative 7 plus root 181. And like I said, don't just write divided by 6 on the calculator. I would suggest you just press equal first, and then you divide by 6. And this gives us a positive solution of 1.0756. So x is equal to 1.08. This is the final answer. And then we try the negative. So we say negative 7 minus radical 181 equal, and then divided by 6. So you get x equals negative 3.408 or 409, which is negative 3.41. So why do I advise you to calculate the numerator first and then press equal and then divide by 6? If you write on your calculator something like this, negative 7 plus root 181 divided by 6, if you type this into the calculator, what the calculator understands is that you want negative 7 plus, because the calculator follows PEMDAS, the order of operations. So it will execute the division before the addition. So it will just do root 181 over 6 first, and then it will add the answer to negative 7. But that's not really what we want. What we want is negative 7 plus root 181 all divided by 6. So either on the calculator, you put these in brackets, or what I prefer is I just calculate this first, and then I press the equal sign, and then I divide by 6. This is the better way of doing it. So anyway, let's check if our final answers are correct. Yes, they are, thankfully. Negative 3.41 and 1.08 are the correct answers. Just in case you still have any remaining doubts, let's do one more very quickly. And I'll even get quicker now. So ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A equals 3. B equals negative 2. C equals negative 2. From these three numbers, of course. And then you can even, if you memorize the formula, you can just plug in the numbers. I'm just showing you how to do it more quickly if you're mentally able to. If you like to write the formula down and go very slowly, that's fine as well. It's up to you and your preference. So I know that it's minus b, so minus -2 plus minus root b squared. And like we said, we don't really take into account the negative sign. So b squared is just 2 power 2, which is 4, minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is -2, over 2 times 3, and we simplify. So x is equal to 2, because the negatives cancel out, plus minus, and then again we have 2 negatives inside the radical. So this becomes plus, this goes away. 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24. So 4 plus 24 gives you 28. So the radical is 28. And this is all over 6. And you use your calculator to figure this out. So either x equals 2 plus radical 28, and I press the equal sign, I get 7.29, and then I divide the answer by 6, I get 1.215. So 1.215. Again, we want 2 decimals, so it's just 1.22. The second answer is going to be 2 minus radical 28 divided by 6. I get negative 0.548, which is negative 0.55. Let's check our answers. 1.22 and negative 0.55 are correct. So this brings us to the end of our video. I hope this has been beneficial. Thank you for watching.